Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ogling Inches, where we are going to talk about architecture and design. Today, we are going to talk about kitchen, which is one of the most important area of any house, and which actually defines the design language of the overall house. Many times, it's the most prominent area where the mistakes are being done by the clients, and these all points which we are going to talk about, it's all about how you can refrain from all those mistakes. Mostly as per the data, around 20%, 15 to 20% of the project budget you spend on kitchens, and you might be seeing these kitchen companies these days on in every area of your city. You will find number of companies which are specially producing kitchens, maybe German kitchen, Japanese kitchen, you might have Indian made kitchens. So all these companies are working to give you the best product, and these best product which you will be receiving from them, they will need your guidance, your requirement. And today we are going to talk about your requirement, how you can fit all those, and how you can get the best out of your budgeting. Let's move on to different aspects. Majorly, the kitchen is all defined by just 4 points. One is the layouting, how you lay out the space. Second is the materials, what all material you apply for the dado, the wall, the counters, the shutters, and rest of the areas. And third point, that is the aesthetics, how you design and define the areas, how it will look nice, and the graphical part of the kitchen. And fourth part is the organization. So how do you organize things? Pots, pans, corner spaces, waste bin, water purifier, loft spaces, all those. So we are going to talk about all those points today, and let's move on and let's start from the first point, that is layouting. I have designed more than 125 kitchens for our residential projects, and in these projects, these all mistakes which I have seen, I have gathered all those issues which you might face when you are getting your kitchen design, and I'm going to talk about all those. And in this point where the layouting is concerned, you start with circulation, how you will be moving in the space, how your work triangle, that is the hob, refrigerator and sink, the wet area, the cooking area and the storage area, those are planned so that you waste less of the overall length and width of the kitchen. To make it efficient, this triangle should be very smooth. It shouldn't be a straight line. It should be a flat area with the proper triangle. So you get to access each and every space very efficiently. This work triangle also helps you to minimize your efforts to take out things. Like when you're cooking, you might need oven which is just nearer to your hob or the counter, so you can take out the cake and keep it on the counter. So those kind of ideas are required and should be planned when you are layouting your kitchen. Second is keeping the widths of items. For example, the sink width, it has to be enough. Majorly the Indian kitchens are the way the washing area is majorly used by the maids, and you will need lots of space around maybe at least 3 feet. So you have 2 feet of sink area where you can wash and you can keep stuff, the utensils to dry, and that width has to be at least 3 feet. You should have a float board where you can keep stuff and the water will go to the sink. In addition to that, if you can add water purifier point and the drain point, the washing utensils ka water, that will help you to make things efficient. Regarding the water purifier, you can also consume your bottom area of the sink with water purifier because that is the least accessible and not easy and unhygienic area of the kitchen. So you can keep the storage of water purifier as an intact unit, and that will be connected to the kitchen sink. So you can wash your vegetables, you can fill your bottles. That will be very easy for you to access. Third is keeping and minding the spaces between the utensils and the units, the spaces between the units. So, for example, your refrigerator, when it opens, it shouldn't touch the shutter in front of it. Any shutter, for example, if it might be the parallel kitchen, you might fix the shutter so that the refrigerator, when it opens, it's touching the front side of the counter. That shouldn't happen, and there should be enough of width. Minimum width of around 5 feet is required, or 6 feet is required when you are planning your kitchen. Keep area open so at least 2 to 3 people can move easily. So when you have good time, kitchen is not only about cooking, it's about the experience which you'll be having when you're cooking there. You might have your maid, you might be cooking, your family might be there, your kids. So you need that enough of space to move around, to take out things, to open shutters. So that is very important, and keeping it in mind makes sense. Next point is the counter width. Major mistakes I have seen doing, the clients are doing, is the counter width. Majorly they go for 24 inches of width, which is quite less. When you have a hob which is actually 24 feet, 24 inches, it makes sense that you go for 27 inches of countertop. That is the cooking area where you are going to cook, the hob, where you can make chapatis, you can prepare. That is the preparation area. So that helps, and you can keep that width around 27 inches. The rest, the counter where you might have microwave, or you might have a special counter for keeping things or to chop your vegetables, that could be lesser, and around 18 inches to 24 inches, that will be a efficient number to work in the kitchen. Third point for the layouting is understanding the various types of layouts which are possible. It might be parallel kitchen. So if your kitchen is linear, it makes sense you go for parallel kitchen, so that you have a most efficient layouting. You can have all the stuff aligned and organized parallelly, so you can take things in parallel and you can prepare your food. Or you can go for L shape. So in L shape, you are cooking and you are keeping and you are preparing things, preparing your food at one side, and the other side is wet area, for example. There could be another option of C layout, where you have cooking area, you have wet area, and you have storage area, the pantry or refrigerator. So it makes sense that you connect all those and your layout is much more efficient. These are the majorly most efficient layouts. If your kitchen is bigger as in maybe around 400 square feet or maybe 300 square feet, you can also go for island kitchen. But mostly island kitchens are more of the looks, it's more about the trends, and it's difficult to manage when you're cooking. The width, you might not be getting enough of passage. You might have an island which you can use for chopping and special occasions, but it's difficult to manage in that tight space when you have your kitchen layout. And the last point for layouting is the location of hob and chimney. It should be in such a place so that you have enough of space. I have seen many kitchens, they have hob in the center, they have just a sink just nearby. So they are putting things, they don't get enough of space for preparation, for chapatis, for mixing, for chopping. So it becomes very difficult to manage. You should have your hob and chimney aligned. The width should be mostly around 2 feet to 3 feet. Nowadays you'll get all these appliances which are aligned, and even the companies will recommend you, but I'll definitely recommend you to go for 3-burner hob, so that all your pressure cooker kadais can accommodate, and you'll be able to cook in easier manner. So number of burners are there, 3 burners, the 900 mm width for hobs makes sense because you'll have efficient area to place your things when you are cooking. So that will help you to manage stuff. And when you're cooking, you should have around 3 feet of extra space all around the hob, so you can keep stuff as a preparation area or chopping area. Next point is the materials. Majorly the materials for the kitchen, because it's the functioning space. It becomes difficult when you make a mistake. For Indian cooking, the cooking is done majorly in oil, and that oil stick to lots of spaces. it's very difficult to manage to clean. So let's start from the countertop. In countertop, you should go for quads. Nowadays, quads are very efficient to manage the stains. You can easily clean those. We have tried lots of experimentation, and we have done a lot of experimentation with all these quartz surfaces. We personally prefer to Specta, which has very good quality of quartz. We have done all the experimentation with haldi, oil, the red chili, so it removes the stain. And even if in that case, if it sticks to the surface, you can use Sif. That is one liquid detergent or cleaner which you can use to remove or rinse those stains very easily. And for quads, 18 mm quads makes sense rather than 15 mm, because many times we damage the countertop. We damage the countertop with a lot of vibrations to juicer mixer, putting hard surfaces over it, and it breaks in majorly all the cases. So it makes sense you go for quads, heavy duty quads, 18 mm at least, and that will help you. Second is the wall surface, the dado which we call. You can go for decorative tiles, but keeping less number of grout surface to clean, that will be easier for you. Rather than that, today we do a lot of quad surface. The counter is directly fixed over the dado as well, so it looks even, it looks neat. There's less number of lines to clean, and so that it's very manageable for you to keep the kitchen spick and span. Next point for the material is the most important, that is shutters. Shutters, you may see shutters nowadays you have lots of options, but we majorly suggest to go for laminate finish, which is a laminate artificial material. It's stuck on the waterproof ply. It's easy to clean. It's damage proof, scratchless, so it's easier to manage. Second is acrylic, which is usually, you might have heard about the material, I'm sure, and it's easy to maintain. It looks neat and glassy. The shutters will look class and it looks neat. That is one of the material which you can apply. The edges are very neat. Those are not sharp, and it will help you to keep the kitchen clean and to look nice and better. And after that, there's another material which is polyacrylic. Polyacrylic is a plastic material which is kind of acrylic, but it's made with powder, and those are useful. Those are kind of sheets which can be applied on waterproof ply in 3 mm thickness, and you can easily buff it even after 5 years if the scratches come, which is usual, and you can easily maintain it for longer time. The damage, even if you hammer the surface, it won't crack, so it's very easy to manage. It's like kind of marble. It's easy to polish, easy to maintain, and it works very charmingly. Next point is going for the handles. So if we talk about handles, there are various kinds of options you might have seen. You might have seen the pull handles, you might have seen the G profile. There are different types of profile. There is one very interesting Gola profile which is there. It will help you to have handleless kitchen. So those handleless kitchens are also nice. It totally depends on the design style of your apartment. If you're going for minimal, go for handleless. If you are going for designer kind, you can go for designer handles. It will give nice aesthetics to the overall look and feel of the kitchen. Next material is the tandem box, the inside of the tandem box. So inside of the tandem box generally should have a rubber mat, so that your spoons, your items won't slip. It's easier to keep them in organized manner. It's easier to keep your tandems clean. You can just remove the mat, you can clean it, you can put it again. So those rubber mats are very easy and best material to apply when you are talking about inside of the tandems. Next, the most important part of the kitchen is going to be the organization. So in organization, we talk about how you keep things. I'm sure you might not have heard regarding a lot of stuff which I'm going to talk about in this unit. First is keeping the ladders. So in keeping your ladder, you can go for any space which is just below your counter. You can keep that ladder below the 3 inches or 4 inches of skirting, and you can keep that ladder, because majorly you'll have that space above the overhead, maybe the loft, and that becomes not easier to access. A lot of time you might find You might go everywhere. You might need to go to storeroom. But keeping your ladder in the same kitchen makes sense, and you can easily take it out, keep it. You can use the loft space and you can put it back. So that skirting area, which generally weighs, you can use that in your kitchen space. Second is organizing all your utensils. For example, your top drawer just below the hob should have all the spoons and ladles. That will help you easier to cook. Second, the second drawer we usually go for cups, saucers, the plates, the small plates, quarter plates, and maybe the bowls. So all those can be in the second drawer of the space below hob. Third space, the bottom drawer can be used for all the bigger utensils. For example, maybe pressure cooker, the bigger utensils. Over the left, over the right, you might access and go for two drawers. So you get 15 inches of space for all those four drawers. You can go for vertical unit for bigger plates. Usually around 10 inches of full-size plates are there, so you can use that space. In addition to that, all the kadais, all the pans can go in those space. So everything is accessible when you are cooking your meal. After that, as I discussed, you can use the below sink space as a water purifier space. You can also go for cleaning agents. For that space, you can keep cleaning agents. You can have a drawer. You can keep all the stuff because that is a humid area and not a hygienic area. So you won't go for keeping your utensils. So keeping water purifier or cleaning agents will help you to manage the cleaning process and to clean the utensils easier even for your maid. Next is keeping a dishwasher just beside the sink. That will again help you to manage your dishwasher when you are removing all your waste. And that dishwasher can have a small space besides for the wash basin. For the waste bin. So that waste bin could be between your sink and your dishwasher. So both the areas can be managed efficiently, removing all the waste to the waste bin. Those drawers kind of waste bins make sense. You can easily access those and manage your stuff. Third part, that is the organization. The third part is keeping all the appliances. You can go for vertical unit just beside your refrigerator. So you can keep all the oven, juicer. You can have juicer with a tray. So you can use juicer, put it back, and the kitchen will be new. So that tray will come out. You can have the juicing and sink that space, and then you can put it back. That will also help. Don't go for all these appliances over the counter. Keep everything at this appliances unit, which we call for, and that will help you to access all the appliances: sandwich maker, your juicer, your coffee machine, your sandwich maker, the blender. So all those could be at one space. Next point is you can go for two kick storage or drawers when you are talking about that skirting space. That will help you to use that space below the counter. You can use that space for smaller stuff, maybe plastic bags for cleaning, for keeping all the waste. You can keep that drawer space for all the smaller stuff, and you won't waste that space. Also, I have seen with lots of these kitchens, it makes sense. You can go for breakfast counter. It will help you. Your kids may sit. You might cook. You can teach them. There are many times where your friends might be visiting you. You can talk to them when they're sitting at the breakfast counter. Breakfast counter are much more multifunctional and very usable when you are at cooking stage and you're in the kitchen. Regarding the organization, mostly you'll have the confusion regarding the height of the kitchen. So there are three heights which are different for each function. For example, at the washing area, you'll need higher height. At the cooking area, you'll need a normal height. And at the hob area, the height is usually higher. So usually the average of this is around 36 inches. Many times the kitchen vendor might ask you to go for 32 inches, maybe maximum 34 inches, but I recommend going for 36 inches if you are tall. Many times in Indian kitchen, maids are working and it becomes difficult to manage the shoulder pain in that case. So that height, keeping it higher won't help you to, you don't need to bend and access the top counter space. It will be easier. You can just stand, you can cook, you can work out, or you can use that counter space, and it will be very easy. So going for 36 inches of counter height makes sense. And the last point for organization is going for switchboards. So in switchboard, if you want to organize your all the appliances, so all the appliances should have their own sockets. So those sockets would be connected to the switchboard, which is just near to your maybe breakfast counter when you are entering, or maybe at the corner of the kitchen. So it will be easier for you to manage all the appliances. That switchboard, that one single switchboard should have all the switches for the water purifier, for the juicer mixer, all the sockets. So it will be easier to manage all the sockets which are there, whichever you want to use, rather than keeping the switches behind the oven or behind the juicer mixer. So those switches will be easier. For the lighting, definitely you can go for separate switchboard. When you are entering to the kitchen, that switchboard will help you to light up the space. But when you want a separate work functioning of appliances, it will be easier to keep one whole switchboard for all those switches for all the appliances. The last point is the gas pipeline or the LPG cylinder space. So for the LPG thing, you can, if you have a balcony attached, mostly that is the case where you have the balcony attached to the kitchen, you can keep your LPG cylinder outside for safety, even in case of leakage. That will have a copper piping coming to your hob, and that will be easier to manage. You won't waste your kitchen space. So that will help you to manage the LPG working. You don't need to worry much about the safety factor of the lives of your family. Another point which comes to my mind is cookery book. The keeping cookery books when you are cooking. The kitchen is not only to cook, it's also to have fun, to learn things, to have that nice experience of cooking. So those cookery books you can keep at one corner. It might be above the refrigerator. You can just keep a box. So keeping all the cookery books or some decor parts here and there will help you to make it look nice and well organized. Now we move to the last part of the episode where we talk about how it will look. That is the most important part. Till now we were talking about majorly about the functioning, but now we are going to talk about how you are going to enjoy your kitchen area or kitchen experience. So this aesthetic is one of the most important part. We start from the color. So in kitchen, majorly you shouldn't go for very bright colors, because there are going to be lots of black appliances. There are going to lot of things, utensils which doesn't have one equal color. Some utensils might have red, steel, stainless steel, copper, lots of things. So in that case, making all your kitchen in lighter shade, pastel shades, cream shade, grey. So all those shades, neutral shades, will define your kitchen well. It will look premium. It will be easier to manage. It will maintain, and it will be pleasing to eyes whenever you are entering into the kitchen. Second point is the lighting. So lighting, in many of the parts I've seen the mistakes happening regarding lighting. When you have counter, it should be well lit, because it's a activity which you are going to do, and there's a very less light in majorly our home. So in that case, you can have underlight or just a strip light below the overhead unit, and that will help you to brighten up when you are cooking without disturbing, without having too much of light. Definitely, in addition to the ceiling light, these lights will help you to look at the food you are preparing, and it will help you to have a nice feel, the ambience of the kitchen. The next part is kitchen is not living room. So go for decoration, but not overly done. Add some plants, nice plants. It will give life to the kitchen. Second is going for some nice decor pieces. It will define the language you might need, because majorly the kitchen is going to the boxes which are fixed to the wall. So in that case, putting some decor parts, nice areas with the small cute items, maybe the decor points will help to manage it aesthetically. Regarding the aesthetics, the fixtures also plays a vital role. In addition to the handles which we have already talked about, these fixtures, for example, the taps, these are available in different shades, different materials, or different finishes these days. Maybe you can talk about the copper, brass, stainless steel. So all those finishes will have glossy, matte finish. So there are thousands of finishes which are available. In addition to that, go for classy, pull-out type of taps, which will help you to manage your cleaning stuff easier. It will have one small shower. It will help you to clean your utensils when you're washing. Or you can also go for some. Kitchen is not only about the functionality space; it's also about the aesthetics. It's an experience. You are going to be there in your kitchen in maybe around at least 2 to 3 hours in the whole day, and that 2 to 3 hours of time should be enjoyable. You can go for adding a Alexa. You can put music system. Go for that. That will help you. You can go for automation. It will help you whenever you enter. The lighting will switch on. That experience of having a nice kitchen which reciprocates your timing at the kitchen will have a nice experience. Will give you nice experience when you are at the kitchen. And that's all from my side for the kitchen regarding the kitchen. And I hope these points will help you to understand the nuances of the kitchen design which we have gathered from our past experience. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thanks a lot. If you're not subscribed to Ogling Inches, please do subscribe. We are coming up with some more very interesting subjects and topics which we'll be talking about in the next video. See you.